And you're listening to 93.5, Laguna's only FM radio station. And we have, of course, the world-famous Wyland in the studio this morning. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Hey, I'm glad to be here. Laguna Beach's only FM radio station. I proudly support it. I hope everybody will. You guys do a great job. And, I just live down the street, so this is like the easiest interview I've ever done. Thank you.
This is an easy gig for you, no?
Yeah, I went out and saw Nick. I was performing at Mozambique last night, and if you haven't seen him on Friday night at Mozambique, you need to get down there. This guy's not right. And that's really his name by the whole band, the Blues Planet band, was He Ain't Right, and he's not.
He's not. No, but he's talented, and he's good looking.
He's the most talented, and he was the most valuable player on this entire Wyland Blues Planet project that was recorded in New Orleans on the anniversary of the Gulf oil spill.
Yeah, that sounds great. We're going to get to that in a moment, too, by the way. All right, here we go. Hey, listen, I worked hard at trying to ask a good first question. Wyland, I'm over here.
I know. I'm looking at Nick. He's like rolling over. I got to keep him entertained.
So I want to talk a little bit here briefly. Here's a softball question for you, and I couldn't think of an easier question to ask. What's your favorite color and why? As an artist, what's your favorite color and why?
Since I was 3-4 years old, blue is my favorite color. I'm still in my blue period. I probably always will, and get it Blues Planet, I like blue. What can I say? And I do love the blues. And, this music was easy for me because blues music is like a feeling.
Right.
So what I did, and so is painting, by the way. So I painted 60 songs, and we recorded 48 of them in a row. 48. Everybody said, you can't even do, one record in 5 days. In 5 days, we recorded 48 original blues songs.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and all of it had all the band, all of us united for this great cause, which is protect our blue planet, the terrible things that we've been doing, and it really comes through in the music. You can feel it deeply.
I know, like I mentioned before, you're world famous. There are people around the world that know you, know your artwork, and I've got this down. You painted 100, if I got this number right?
100 wailing walls, yeah.
Explain briefly just the wailing wall concept and how you sort of came up with that idea.
Well, I was painting whales on canvas. I came out to Laguna Beach when I was 14 years old, and we did a little road trip out from Detroit, where I'm from.
Detroit.
Yeah.
And so we would be who?
My 3 brothers and my mom. So we came out here to visit my Aunt Linda, who lived out here, and we went to Laguna Beach. I saw the Pacific Ocean for the very first time, 14-year-old artist. I dove in, and as I came up under a wave, 2 great whales actually spouted right in my face, and barnacle-encrusted back slowly moving across the surface, and then these giant, tails fluked up in front of me. And ironically, 10 years later, I painted those 2 whales on the side of the Hotel Laguna parking lot wall.
Wow.
That I now own. I actually now own that property. Weird, but it's funny how things happen, but that made such an impression on me. And that and Jacques Cousteau was my hero. We dedicated this Blues Planet record to Jacques Cousteau.
Right.
And, everything kind of came together. I'm from Detroit, which is an unlikely place for a marine life artist, but if you think about it, surrounded by the Great Lakes, I'm a water sign. I'm a Cancer crab, for all the crabs out there. And Laguna is a Cancer sign, and it's an art colony. So I was drawn to Laguna Beach, painted that first mural, and Gordon Grant from the LA Times said, how many of these murals are you going to paint of whales? I said 100. I could have said 10. I would have been done. And I thought it would take 30 years, but it took me 27 years. So I actually was 3 years ahead of time and painted the last one in Beijing for the Green Olympics as the official U.S. Olympic artist. So that was quite an honor.
How long does it take to paint one?
Till it's finished.
Yeah. So, that can range from...
Well, it can range from, say, Long Beach. If you guys have seen the giant mural I did in Long Beach on the arena there, that took 6 weeks, and took about 7,000 gallons of paint.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got here, they're in Hawaii, Japan, France, Australia, Canada, Mexico, New Zealand, Guam, Brazil, China.
I tagged a lot of walls, and it doesn't take long. When you work for free, you got to work fast.
Sure.
I tell the kids, Nick and I work with a lot of kids, and I say, if they're paying you by the hour, slow down.
Right.
Take your time, man. In fact, make it a year or 2 years. But if it's free, knock that sucker out.
But it should be noted, you've done them all for free.
I did 100 walls. It was my give back, and right now, I'm planning 100 monumental sculptures in 100 great cities in the world.
Wow.
10 of those will be underwater, but monumental sculptures of all the great whale species and freshwater animals as well, larger than life. And we're going to pick 100 cities in the world to have them. And
That's
10
great.
of them, by the way, will be underwater.
That's amazing.
Monuments that you have to swim and dive and snorkel through. And then they will attract coral, so the coral becomes part of the art.
Beautiful.
So I'm thinking as big as I can. That's another 25-year project. That one I can't do for free, unfortunately, because it's going to be very expensive. But, hey, art is really a gateway for me to use to bring the conservation message. Art, conservation, community, and
Good.
Laguna has all those things. That's
Agreed.
why I live here.
So back to my question,
Yeah.
though. As an artist, looking at the colors that you paint, yours
Right.
is more of an idealistic view.
Yeah,
of
right.
the
I
art.
see a very positive view, but there may be a point when I'm going to paint some of the terrible things that are happening. I'm seeing,
Imagine the power of the art if you did that. Yeah.
I have to go there now, but I'm going to use the power of art, as you say, to show some of the terrible things, which are, climate change, coral reefs dying, and I mean, as far as you can see, a graveyard of dead coral.
Right.
Sharks being hunted to extinction,
Right.
due to shark fin soup. We wrote a song called Shark Fin Blues. Even the sharks got the blues. But the music, the art, we're getting the message out there, and people are starting to take action. So it's very hopeful. I love to see that we're actually accomplishing what we set out to do. And Laguna is leading the way, really.
Very nice.
Very,
yeah.
forward-thinking city on environmentalism.
For a little radio business here,
Yes.
you're listening to KX 93.5, Laguna's only FM, and Wyland's in the studio. I'm going to ask you about this last CD. You've done 3 of these CDs. While you and I are talking, I'm going to bring in Nick Hernandez, if he's out there and listening, if he'd come in and get set up. How did you come up with the concept of a blues CD series?
I started writing these songs for a documentary film. Really, all this music was done for a 3-part series called Blues Planet. So I started thinking of people that I know. Taj Mahal actually was staying at my house, and I strategically laid out all these songs on the coffee table. And I came down in the morning, he grabs me, he says, "When are we going to record this music?" He goes, "This is really amazing. You wrote this?" I said, "Yep." So in 2 months, I wrote 60 original blues songs, and we went to New Orleans and recorded 48 of them in a row, most of them one take. And this guy right here, Nick who's from Laguna Beach, just like me. Anyway, he said, I want to sing on your record. And I hadn't thought of him right out of the gate, but he assured me that blues was kind of his thing too. And according to his manager, after this was we released this, he said he's got about 50 to 100 more years of career as a blues singer. So Nick, how'd that go for you?
I was in a blues band when I was a kid in South Laguna.
Right.
And so I'd sit in with them, and when I was 5 and 6 years old, and just sing the blues with them. I just loved to sing, and I was a show-off little guy, and I remember everyone clapping. I just go, I guess this is what I'm going to do, when I grow up. So I've always been doing that.
I got to tell you what he did. So to prove it, he garage band 20 of these 48 songs that we did. He garage band them, really worked.
When you say
them.
garage band, are we talking the software
I
program?
mean,
Okay.
To prove it to me, and every one he did got even better.
Yeah.
And so he did 20 of these. He co-wrote 11 of them.
Wow.
And he, the entire band, all 38 of us, decided that he was our most valuable player in this Blues Planet project. So he made Taj Mahal cry on this reggae blues song called All Gone.
Wow.
And it's this last song in the documentary film, but Nick, go ahead.
Well, he made me cry because he played banjo on it. I was like, oh my gosh, Taj Mahal's playing on a song I'm singing on, and then he played in a few other songs, and he sang the song Dirty Oil that you and I did together, and it was just like everybody in the whole place. By the end of Dirty Oil, when he finished the last note, I saw a giant Hawaiian man run out of the room, try not to show everyone that he has tears in his
Willie
eyes.
K.
Wow, that's
Willie
amazing.
K.
Yeah.
And he's a mean guy. Like, I don't mean like a bad person.
No,
I mean
I
like he's a tough guy.
Yeah.
And he came, I'm like, hey,
Hawaiian
what's up? He's
style.
like, he looked at me like, don't talk to me right now. I'm like, okay, no problem,
Wow.
sir. You know?
Yeah.
Willie K is another one of my heroes, man. That
That's
guy, great singer, great guitarist, great everything.
It was a beautiful thing, and I know all these players over the last 35 years. In fact, Rod Piazza, one of the greatest harmonica players in the world.
Jimi Hendrix of harmonica.
Oh my God, he's
And
unbelievable.
Jimi Hendrix of the harmonica?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he played virtually on every single song. But,
Right.
he's just underrated, to say the least.
So
But
this is an eco-conscious music project. That's sort of how you
exactly,
define it.
you nailed it.
The proceeds, they go out anywhere? Or is that-
100% are going to go to the Wyland Foundation. If we ever get any, we need to get this out there and get some sales, and we're going to probably go out on tour with the Blues Planet Project next year.
Hi, I'm David Wilhelm, and this is Jimmy's Famous American Tavern. Jimmy's has been called a casual comeback for me. I think that's because most of the restaurants that I developed in the past were white tablecloth, upper-end restaurants. Jimmy's was designed as a place for friends and families to gather and enjoy regional American comfort food in a casual setting. Jimmy's Famous American Tavern, simple and traditional.
Hey, Nick,
Great.
Wyland was saying that you sort of, you took his songs and sort of really sort of made
Bended
them
them.
your own in some ways. Did you find that? The lyrics and the because you wrote the melodies too, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, we did it as an entire band on the
Okay.
spot. I did initially call them out, but I give credit to all 38 players. We really improvised, and it was really freestyle, as Nick likes to say.
Yeah.
But he did send us his ideas, and he would sing the rhythms kind of on the tape and
Yeah,
stuff.
you don't want me
You'll never
singing,
get that
though.
released, don't
No,
worry.
no.
But it did give us great inspiration, and it headed us in the direction of every song.
That sounds
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we would huddle, and Nick's a leader.
Yeah.
You know, that's why he's the leader of Common Sense and ADD. He's a leader. And all these guys looked at me like, where did you find this guy? Because nobody knew him for blues, right? These guys are the masters. I mean,
Right.
it's John Clary. It's look at this. Look at the lineup.
Huge.
And they go, who is this guy? But the moment he did Come Home, or I'm going to get my baby back, they looked at me and said, thank God you got Nick Guy.
Yeah.
He's the guy you want in front. He's like jumping around. We brought this to the Doheny Blues Festival main stage,
That was great.
and we rocked it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, so you've got your guitar with you, Nick,
Yeah.
and we've asked you to come in and maybe perform one or two songs. I know it's early morning. You probably don't have your perfect pitch
You
voice.
can do it.
What song are you going to play, and what's the kind of message of the song, or what's the backstory to the song?
Okay, well, I'd like to play "Get My Baby Back." Get my baby back. Sorry.
Okay.
And the song is, the metaphor is, "Get my baby back" is get our ocean back, get our wildlife back, get our clean wetlands back, and all the things that were destroyed in the Gulf disaster.
Right.
And so when we write these songs, the metaphors are all about that, and they're hidden in there. Personally, I think we hit them in a lot of ways because we want to make a record for music's sake, first and foremost. Because if you try to, I feel like if you try to force a message down someone's throat, they're not going to get it, and they're not going to
agree.
try to listen to it.
Yeah,
So
I
just
agree.
make songs that we loved,
Yeah.
and that underneath the underlying message is that of conservation and clean earth.
Lyrics, music by Wyland and Nick Guy.
And
on this
Nick Guy,
one?
yeah.
Some of the songs, yeah. I mean, he wrote, the
This one we're
majority
gonna
of them.
play?
This one's by us.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's hear it.
Two amigos.
The
here.
two amigos.
Nick
So,
Guy.
all right. I don't care how long it take. I don't care no more. I don't care how long it take, even though my heart got tore. I'm gonna get my baby back. I'm gonna get her back. I'm gonna get my baby back, even though my heart is tore up. Well, she left me yesterday without a single word. not a single word. My baby got in her car last night. Baby got in her car last night. We drank a little bit too much wine and we got into a fight. So I drank a little bit more. She walked out that door. I don't care how long it takes, just don't care no more. Come on. Hey! Well, now I'm home, it's all good. I'll straighten up, I'll act the way I should. I'll stop drinking, I promise I will. No more wine means no more jail. No more drinking late at night. No more useless fussing and fight. I promise I will always be good, like a good man should. Wow. Thank you.
Nick Guy. Beautiful.
Hi, I'm David Wilhelm, and this is Jimmy's Famous American Tavern. Jimmy's has been called a casual comeback for me. I think that's because most of the restaurants that I developed in the past were white tablecloth, upper-end restaurants. Jimmy's was designed as a place for friends and families to gather and enjoy regional American comfort food in a casual setting. Jimmy's Famous American Tavern, simple and traditional.
All right, hey, Nick, you got another song in you?
Sure.
What's the backstory to this? What's it called?
This song is called "Come Home."
Love it.
Right, Tom?
Yeah, I love Come Home. Yeah, it's a great one.
And
this is the first one. You know, we ran through all these songs at the Coach House. Gary was nice enough to give us the venue.
Yeah.
So we had the band in there and we ran through it. And this was the first song we did, and here it is for everybody listening.
Very nice. We're listening to Nick I and Wyland off their new CD, and you're listening to KX 93.5 FM. Nick I, you're up, my friend.
It's time to get back home. It's time to get back home. Don't wanna do no wrong. My daddy, he once told me, and Poppy told me, son, get yourself together before the damage done. Poppy, it's too late now, the damage already seen. But get yourself together, we're gonna make a scene. Well, it's time to get back home. It's time to get back home. Don't wanna do no wrong. That's the short version of that one. Yeah, we got
Very nice.
Well, you know,
you want to do Little Ocean Pearl?
yeah, check this one out. Really
Check this out.
Don't feel rushed, man. We got time here.
Well, I know what I want, know what I'm seeing in this world. Well, I know what I want, know what I'm seeing in that girl. She's my one desire, she's my little ocean pearl. Well, she's looking at me, and I just won't stop. Well, she's looking at me, she just won't stop. She's my one desire, she's my little ocean pearl. She keep on giving me loving, she just won't stop. If she keep on giving me loving, head is gonna pop. She's my one desire, she's my little ocean pearl. Woo-hoo, 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 woo-hoo. 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 She my one desire, she's my little ocean.
That's a nice little song. Right
that was
on.
wonderful, man. You don't want to hear this from me, but you got a lot of sex appeal with you and that guitar, and you start singing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You really do, man. Let me ask you a question here. There's a very unique but delicate connection between art, music, and marketing. You know, because at the same time, you want to be an artist. You don't want to focus on the marketing, but you have to focus on the marketing in order to get your platform out there. You seem to be able to balance that pretty well.
Well, for me, you know, I wanted to do 100, public art projects, and I couldn't get any funding anywhere. So I just decided that if I'm really going to accomplish this goal, I had to be a successful artist. So, you know, I just opened my first Wyland galleries 35 years ago in the Canyon.
Wow.
And the rest is history. But, work hard and great things happen. You know, work hard with integrity. Try to keep your eye on, community and giving things back. And, just follow your dream. My dream was to be successful enough to do 100 murals, and now I'm going to do 100 sculptures. But, I was an artist that was in the right place at the right time. You know, I heard the message of, hey, the first Earth Day, Greenpeace, Jacques Cousteau. I feel like I'm very lucky, so it's a privilege for me to work with Nick
you
on.
Create that,
by
the way, so you know.
Thank you. Well, hey, and it's all from Laguna Beach, man.
Yeah.
I was drawn here. Everything happens for a reason, but we as a community should support this radio station.
Agreed.
And all the great causes
AX93.5.
that we care about. But if Orange County pulled together, there's nothing we can't do together.
Very nice.
Has the art changed over the years, Wyland?
You know, my art's evolved into, I used to paint general whales, and but I bring a lot of science in. I now paint whales that I see. And right now, I tell people, go to Dana Point, Newport, and get on one of these whale watch boats, Ocean Institute, and go out and see one of the greatest animals on Earth. The blue whales are 90 feet long. They're 150 tons. And you can see them from shore. I can see them from my studio in Laguna Beach. They're spouting. They have a 30-foot spout, a 3-story spout. That's how they got hunted almost to extinction. They can't really camouflage that. They have to breathe air. And it's 3 stories high. But I encourage everybody to get out there on the whale watch boat, and then I'm part of the Dana Wharf with Whale Watch that teaches kids about whales and conservation.
Do you think that all the effort, all the resources, the artwork, the albums, the foundations, do you see the results of your efforts?
I wouldn't think that could be measured if I hadn't done this for over 35 years. I have kids come to me and say, I became a marine biologist because of you.
Wow.
I went to Scripps.
That's cool.
And if you can get one kid to be the next Jacques Cousteau, the next Sylvia Earle, the next Taj Mahal, even Nick Eye, then it's worth all that investment that you put out there. And it all started for me mentoring young people. When I was in first grade, my art teacher caught me drawing in the back of the class. I wasn't paying attention. She said, I need to see you after class, Mrs. Stevens. And after class, she sat down with me. I thought I was in trouble, and she said, I'm an artist, Wyland. Let's draw together. So we drew for an hour, and my art teacher said, Wyland, you could be a great artist. Changed my life. She really,
wow.
I kind of perked up a little.
Yeah.
And now when I see a group of kids, I'll stop everything I'm doing. If I'm painting a mural, I'll come off the scaffolding and try to mentor those kids. And the proudest thing that the Wyland Foundation has done is we immerse ourselves in these kids, through the art and science, and really ensure them that they matter and they can make a difference. If you want to protect the environment today, talk to us. If you want to protect it for the future, you got to have the kids on board. You got to have them involved.
Beautiful, man. Hey, Nick, you got one more in you that we can leave. And here's my thinking on this. We got cameras going on here, and here's what I'm thinking. As he's playing Wyland in the back, I bought a board and a blue pen.
Want me to draw?
I want you to draw something for us here. Can you do that?
And you can auction it off for the radio station.
What's the song you want to play next, Nick?
This song is called Dirty Oil, and I'm not going to give it justice like Taj Mahal. So I'll do my own version of it. It's a little different than Taj's version, but you got to hear Taj's version will bring tears to a man's eyes.
Right.
Well, I never will forget that dirty oil. Ain't gonna never forget that dirty oil. Ain't gonna never forget. Make my blood boil. Man, I'll never forget your dirty oil. Well, I never will forget that dirty oil. Well, I never will forget that dirty oil. Ain't gonna never forget what you destroy. Man, I'll never forget that dirty oil. Well, I ain't gonna never forget that burning platform. Lung began to burn, I can't breathe no more. Ain't gonna never forget, make my blood boil. Man, I'll never forget your dirty oil. Well, we made it back to shore past the culprit holes. Destroy our sacred water, but you still want more. Ain't gonna never forget, make my blood boil. Man, I'll never forget your dirty oil. Well, I ain't gonna never forget that dirty oil. Ain't gonna never forget that dirty oil. Ain't gonna never forget, make my blood boil. Man, I'll never forget your dirty oil. I said, man, I'll never forget your dirty oil.
Woo!
Hey.
Thank you.
All right, Nick.
That's
Nice one.
Nick Eye. Nick Eye.
Beautiful.
Off the Blues Planet albums 1, 2, and 3, written by and produced by Wyland. Wyland's in the studio with Nick Guy. This is KX 93.5. Wyland.
Scott. Good job.
Great job, guys. I just so appreciate, first of all, I appreciate you coming in this early in the morning and Nick Guy performing some great, phenomenal blues songs. Thank you very much. Wyland, of course, I mean, just, you know, I didn't know you until just this morning, my friend. I only knew of you, and I can see your passion. I can see your devotion to the causes you're producing, and that's the sound of Wyland painting with a marker.
I'm sorry
in the
about that
background.
noise. It's a little screechy, but I drew a California gray whale tail flute for you.
That's wonderful. That's
So I
beautiful,
hope
man.
this,
You did that in
goes
about 4 minutes,
It's
right?
going on eBay right now.
If
Going
I
on
got
eBay
paid by
right
the
now.
hour.
Don't forget to sign it, by the way. Don't forget to sign it.
Yeah,
Hey,
don't
you'd
sign
laugh
up for the
though.
eBay.
My pizza guy brought me a box, you know, in Hawaii, and he said, the Domino's guy, will you sign a box for me? I'm a big fan. Goes on eBay, he sells it for $750.
You signed my guitar? Hey, I need a new one.
Hey, guys, thank you again. Really
Hey,
appreciate
mahalo,
the
you
time.
guys.
Yeah, very nice. Wyland and Nick Guy. This is the Friendship Show you've been listening to, KX 93.5.